everyone and welcome to my The Young and the Restless official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Young and the Restless spoilers update for the week of March 2nd 6 indicate that Diane Jenkins Abbott will do whatever it takes to get Jack Abbott back after a crisis hits. Billy Abbott will also fume once Victor Newman forces him into a terrible decision, so let's talk about what's ahead on Y&R. After Claire Newman tells Kyle Abbott that she's done with Holden Novak, that could open the door to a conversation about the love that's lingering between Kyle and Claire. Sharon Newman may also suspect things aren't over for good between Mariah Copeland and Tessa Porter, so she may warn Daniel Romalotti Jr. about that after questioning him. Over with Kane Ashby, his proposition for Phyllis Summers won't get the response he was hoping for. After some new threats are delivered, Kane will strike a dirty blow. While Phyllis deals with that, she'll also make another effort to repair her damaged relationship with Daniel. Of course, Daniel will probably refuse to budge unless Phyllis signs Newman Enterprises back over to Victor. In the meantime, Victor will work on a different plan to get Chancellor back. It'll involve abducting Jack and holding him captive somewhere, so Billy is in for a shock. Billy will be expected to return Chancellor by nightfall he ever wants to see his brother again. Victor will spell out his terms before Billy takes this shocking Jack news to Diane and Kyle Abbott. Even if Billy's resistant to the idea of striking this deal, Kyle will have a few tricks up his sleeve. Since Kyle will assume Claire's not going to approve of Victor's actions, he'll likely bring her up to speed and ask if she can change Victor's mind about Jack's hostage situation. As for Diane, she'll make some bold moves of her own during her search for Jack. Diane may start by ripping into Nikki Newman over Victor's drastic plan and pushing her to do something. There'll also be some drama involving Nick Newman, who'll go MIA on his loved ones. Sharon and Noah Newman will have concerns when they can't get in touch with Nick, who may be off working on Matt Clark's setup. Nick will be back in the picture with Sharon later when they get a frightening message. It could point to danger for Noah and Sienna Bacall if Matt figures out Nick setting a trap instead of giving him $5 million. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Matt will remain a manipulative monster, so don't miss the horror to come. The week of March 2nd through 6th on The Young and the Restless doesn't just bring drama, it detonates it. In The Young and the Restless, loyalty will be tested, love will be questioned, and desperation will drive some of Genoa City's most powerful players to shocking extremes. And at the center of it all, a crisis so explosive it threatens to tear families apart. It begins with a quiet but emotionally charged moment. Claire Newman finally looks Kyle Abbott in the eyes and tells him she's done with Holden Novak. Done. Over. Finished. On the surface, it's a simple declaration, but underneath it feels like something bigger. Something unresolved. Because when Claire closes that door, another one creaks open. The air between Claire and Kyle shifts. There's history there. Complicated, messy, unfinished history. And as they talk, as the words settle and the silence lingers just a little too long, it becomes painfully clear that whatever they had, it never truly disappeared. The love between them hasn't died, it's been waiting. But in Genoa City, nothing romantic ever unfolds without shadows nearby. Over at Sharon's world, a different kind of emotional storm brews. Sharon Newman watches closely because she knows when something isn't truly over. And when it comes to Mariah Copeland and Tessa Porter, Sharon senses unfinished business. No matter what's been said, no matter what's been promised, something still lingers between them. After questioning Daniel Romalotti Jr., Sharon may issue a quiet but firm warning. Hearts don't just switch off, not when they've loved that deeply. And Daniel would be wise to remember that. Elsewhere, a proposition goes terribly wrong. Kane Ashby approaches Phyllis Summers with an offer. Something calculated, something strategic. He expects her to bite. She doesn't. And when Kane doesn't get what he wants, he doesn't retreat politely. He escalates. After new threats surface, Kane responds with a dirty blow, a move that proves just how ruthless he can be when cornered. Phyllis, however, has her own battles to fight. While dealing with Kane's retaliation, she turns her focus to something far more personal, her fractured relationship with Daniel. The distance between mother and son has grown painful and cold. Phyllis wants to fix it. She tries again and again. But Daniel isn't budging, not unless she does something drastic. Unless she signs Newman Enterprises back over to Victor. And just like that, the corporate battlefield becomes deeply personal. Because while Phyllis wrestles with impossible choices, Victor Newman is already executing a plan of his own, a dangerous one. Victor has decided he wants Chancellor back, and he's not asking nicely. In a move that shocks even Genoa City's most hardened players, Victor abducts Jack Abbott. Yes, kidnaps him. Jack is taken and held captive somewhere unknown, isolated, powerless. And when Billy Abbott learns the truth, the world seems to tilt beneath his feet. Victor's message is crystal clear: return Chancellor by nightfall or you'll never see your brother again. It's not a negotiation, it's a threat. Billy is stunned, furious, and horrified all at once. He never imagined Victor would cross this line. But then again, this is Victor Newman. Before Billy can even process the full weight of what's happened, he's forced to deliver the devastating news to Diane Jenkins Abbott and Kyle Abbott. Diane's face drains of color. Kyle's disbelief quickly turns to rage. Even if Billy resists the idea of striking a deal with Victor, the pressure is suffocating. Jack's life hangs in the balance. But Kyle isn't standing idle. If Victor believes he can control every angle of this situation, Kyle may have something to say about that. He knows one thing for certain: Claire will not approve of her grandfather's actions, and that could be the crack in Victor's armor. Kyle fills Claire in, tells her everything, and then he asks the unthinkable. Can you change Victor's mind? Because if anyone can reach him, maybe it's her. Meanwhile, Diane refuses to sit quietly while her husband is held hostage. Desperation transforms her into a force of nature. She confronts Nikki Newman fiercely, emotionally, unapologetically. Diane demands answers, demands action. She tears into Nikki over Victor's drastic, reckless decision. How could you let this happen? Push him, stop him, do something. For Diane, this isn't business, it's love, and she will do whatever it takes to get Jack back. But as if Genoa City didn't have enough chaos, another frightening mystery unfolds. Nick Newman disappears. He goes completely MIA, unreachable by the people who love him most. Sharon and Noah Newman grow increasingly alarmed when their calls go unanswered. Something isn't right. Nick wouldn't just vanish, not without a reason, and that reason may be far more dangerous than anyone realizes. Nick has been working on setting up Matt Clark. Instead of handing over the demanded $5 million, he's planning a trap, a bold, risky trap. But if Matt figures it out, if he realizes Nick isn't playing by the rules, the consequences could be devastating. Later, when Nick reconnects with Sharon, they receive a chilling message, one that sends a wave of fear crashing over them. Because the danger may not be aimed at Nick alone. It could point directly at Noah and Sienna Bacall. If Matt suspects betrayal, he won't hesitate. He's manipulative, calculating, a monster hiding behind charm. And he's not finished yet. As the week unfolds, every corner of Genoa City feels unstable. Love teeters on the edge of rekindling. Families fracture under impossible pressure. And power, as always, comes at a brutal cost. Victor's ruthless gamble, Billy's impossible choice. Diane's desperate fight. Kyle and Claire's unresolved love. Nick's dangerous game with a predator. The stakes have never felt higher. And in The Young and the Restless, when secrets explode and alliances crumble, one truth always remains: no one walks away untouched. The horror is coming, and Genoa City may never be the same. As the week barrels forward, the tension doesn't ease, it tightens. Jack Abbott remains hidden somewhere in the shadows, cut off from the world he built, from the family he fiercely protects. There are no windows, no reassurances, only the cold, suffocating knowledge that this is Victor Newman's doing. And Victor never makes empty threats. Back in Genoa City, the clock feels louder than ever. Billy Abbott paces like a man trapped in a cage of his own making. Every second that passes is another second his brother spends in captivity. The ultimatum echoes in his mind: return Chancellor by nightfall or lose Jack. It's not just a business decision, it's blood. Billy's pride screams at him not to give Victor the satisfaction. But his heart is terrified because this isn't corporate warfare anymore. It's family. Diane Jenkins Abbott refuses to crumble under the weight of fear. If anything, the crisis sharpens her. Her love for Jack burns hotter than her anger at Victor, and that anger is volcanic. After confronting Nikki Newman and demanding she rein Victor in, Diane takes matters into her own hands. She starts digging, calling in favors, pushing boundaries. She refuses to sit idle while her husband is treated like collateral damage in Victor's endless power plays. Her voice may shake, her hands may tremble, but her resolve unbreakable, and Kyle Abbott feels that same fire. He's torn between loyalty to his father and his complicated connection to Claire Newman. Bringing Claire into this wasn't easy, but if there's even a chance she can sway Victor, Kyle will take it. When Claire learns what her grandfather has done, the shock is written all over her face. This is not the man she wants to defend, not the legacy she wants to carry. Kyle doesn't pressure her, but his eyes do. The plea is there. Please, help us. For Claire, it becomes a defining moment. Does she stand by Victor out of family loyalty, or does she challenge him, risk everything to save the man he's imprisoned? Meanwhile, Victor remains composed, controlled, disturbingly calm. In his mind, this is strategy, precision, necessary force. Chancellor belongs to him, and he will reclaim it. But even Victor Newman may be underestimating the emotional fallout of his actions. Because this isn't just about business leverage anymore. It's about trust, and he may be shattering it in ways that can't be repaired. Elsewhere, Phyllis Summers finds herself walking a razor-thin line. Kane Ashby's dirty move has left bruises, not physical ones, but strategic ones. He struck where it would hurt, and he did it without hesitation. Kane feels cornered, threatened, and when he feels that way, he fights back ruthlessly. Phyllis knows the game, she's played it for years, but this time she's juggling too many fires at once. Her attempt to repair things with Daniel isn't dramatic. It's raw, vulnerable. She reaches out not as a power player but as a mother. She tells him she wants to fix this, that she hates the distance, that she misses him. Daniel listens, but his guard stays up. He's been hurt too many times. He doesn't want promises. He wants proof. And that proof in his mind is simple: sign Newman Enterprises back to Victor. It's a demand that slices straight through Phyllis's pride. Because giving that up would mean surrender. It would mean admitting Victor still holds the cards. But if that's the price of rebuilding trust with her son, is it worth it? The question lingers painfully in the space between them. And just when it feels like Genoa City couldn't hold any more tension, the situation with Nick Newman spirals. Nick's disappearance isn't random, it's deliberate. He's deep in his plan to outmaneuver Matt Clark, a man who thrives on manipulation and fear. Instead of handing over $5 million, Nick is orchestrating a trap designed to expose him once and for all. But traps are dangerous things. Because when a predator realizes he's the one being hunted, he lashes out. Sharon Newman feels it before she knows it. That gnawing instinct that something has gone terribly wrong. When she and Nick finally reconnect, the relief is fleeting, shattered by a terrifying message that changes everything. The warning is clear. If Matt discovers the setup, Noah Newman and Sienna Bacall could be in danger. Suddenly, this isn't about money or pride or strategy. It's about their children. Sharon's composure cracks for just a moment, fear flashing across her face. Nick's jaw tightens. He knew the risk, he accepted it. But he never intended for Noah to become collateral damage. Now the race isn't just against Matt, it's against time. Because Matt Clark remains exactly what he's always been, a manipulative monster hiding behind calculated smiles. And if he senses betrayal, there will be consequences. Brutal ones. As the week hurtles toward its climax, every storyline begins to collide. Billy stands on the edge of an impossible choice. Diane refuses to stop fighting. Kyle and Claire face a crossroads that could redefine their relationship. Phyllis weighs power against motherhood. Nick and Sharon brace for a confrontation that could explode without warning. And somewhere, alone and captive, Jack Abbott waits. The question isn't just whether he'll be rescued, it's what the rescue will cost. Because in Genoa City, victories are rarely clean. Deals are never simple. And when Victor Newman decides to make a move, the ripple effects shake everyone. By the time the dust settles, loyalties will be tested. Relationships will strain. And some lines once crossed can never be uncrossed. This week doesn't just promise drama, it promises consequences.